drift gently away from the present moment and into a much older world, a world where time moved slowly and life unfolded in forms both familiar and strange, long before memory, long before names, when the earth itself was learning how to be alive, and the creatures that walked, swam, and flew across its surface did so without knowing they would one day vanish, leaving only traces behind, whispers pressed into stone. And tonight, as you rest, we begin with the quiet giants of deep time, the dinosaurs not as roaring monsters, but as living animals moving through warm forests and misty plains, many of them feathered, many of them gentle browsers, rising and falling with the rhythms of ancient seasons. Imagine herds of long-necked sauropods walking slowly across floodplains, their massive feet sinking softly into mud that would one day harden into fossil beds, each step unhurried, each breath warm in the humid air. These giants lived for decades, perhaps more than a century, growing slowly, calmly, never rushing, their hearts beating steadily beneath ribs the size of tree trunks, and nearby, smaller dinosaurs padded quietly through undergrowth, some no larger than birds, their feathers catching the golden light of dawn, while above them pterosaurs glided without effort, wings stretched wide, riding warm air currents like drifting leaves, and beneath ancient seas, ammonites spiraled gently through clear waters, their shells patterned like dreams, opening and closing as they floated, while ichthyosaurs, shaped like modern dolphins, moved smoothly through oceans that once covered much of the planet. These marine reptiles breathed air, surfacing slowly, breaking the water with barely a ripple, then slipping back into blue silence. And far below, coral reefs bloomed and faded, built not by plants, but by countless tiny animals, working together over thousands of years, creating underwater cities that hummed softly with life. And even earlier still, before dinosaurs ruled the land, armored fish cruised ancient rivers, their heavy plates glinting faintly beneath, sunlight filtering through shallow water, moving with calm purpose, unaware that their lineage would someday disappear entirely, replaced by lighter, faster forms, evolution unfolding like a slow, patient story, never hurried, never cruel, simply changing. And as the ages passed, forests came and went, giant ferns rose taller than houses, then faded away, replaced by flowering plants that filled the air with color and scent. And insects followed, bees humming softly for the first time, butterflies drifting like living petals, while dinosaurs adapted, diversified, and settled into countless niches, some with horns and frills for quiet display, others with duck-like bills for grazing peacefully by riverbanks. And even the great predators were part of a balance, hunting not in chaos but as a necessary thread in the web of life. Presence shaping ecosystems gently over millions of years, and then without warning but not without meaning, change arrived, not as a sudden ending but as a long transition, fire from the sky, darkness in the air, temperatures shifting slowly, plants struggling, food webs thinning, and one by one, species faded away not in panic, but as life always has, yielding space for what would come next. And in the quiet aftermath, mammals emerged from the shadows, small at first, warm-blooded and curious, carrying their young close, adapting to cooler nights and changing landscapes, and over time some grew enormous, the Ice Age giants, mammoths with curved tusks moving through snowy plains in family groups, their thick fur catching frost, their low rumbles traveling through cold air, mastodons browsing forests, giant ground sloths standing tall to pull leaves from branches, moving slowly, conserving energy, living calm lives measured in seasons rather than moments, while saber-toothed cats rested beneath trees, conserving strength, and giant birds with powerful legs strode across open grasslands, flightless but confident, filling roles once held by dinosaurs and humans still new to the world. Watch these animals with wonder and caution, sharing landscapes briefly, before climate and change once again shifted the balance, and the giants disappeared, leaving behind bones beneath soil, stories embedded in earth itself. And tonight, as you rest, it is comforting to remember that extinction is not an ending, but a deep pause in a much larger rhythm, a reminder that life transforms, that beauty is not lost but reshaped, and that every creature, no matter how long gone, once felt warmth, once moved beneath stars, once belonged to the living world just as we do now. And as your mind drifts, you may imagine these vanished animals not as ghosts, but as peaceful presences resting within the planet, their stories continuing quietly through fossils, through science, through the calm curiosity that brings you here tonight. And if this gentle journey through deep time brings you comfort, if learning softly while falling asleep feels like a gift, you are warmly invited to subscribe to this channel, to return whenever you wish to drift through ancient worlds, soothing facts and quiet wonders, with no urgency, no noise, only calm discovery. And now, let your breathing slow even more, as the ancient earth fades softly into darkness and rest comes easily. As you remain comfortably at rest, breathing slow and unforced, let your imagination drift even farther back and deeper down, into the ancient oceans that once covered most of the earth. Seas so old and calm that continents themselves were only temporary guests above them, and within those waters lived creatures, whose forms seem almost like gentle, dreams shaped by time, soft-bodied trilobites crawling patiently across seabeds lit by pale sunlight, their many eyes sensing movement without urgency, while above them vast schools of early fish moved as one, turning together like living clouds, and among them swam creatures that no longer exist in any form today. Eurypterids, sometimes called sea scorpions, some as small as a hand, others longer than a human is tall, gliding smoothly through warm, shallow seas, their movements slow and deliberate, never rushed. And as millions of years passed, life experimented quietly. Shells thickened, fins reshaped, jaws emerged, and the oceans became home to enormous filter feeders, ancient relatives of whales, drifting through plankton-rich waters, feeding gently, while giant sharks cruised wide-open spaces, not as monsters but as essential keepers of balance. And when coral reefs rose again and again only to vanish during mass extinctions, new marine communities formed in their place, resilient and calm and far above the waves. On isolated islands cut off from predators, birds grew large and unafraid, the dodo wandering peacefully through forests, nesting on the ground without fear, giant moa browsing New Zealand's woodlands like living towers of feathers, elephant birds laying eggs as large as dreams, each of these creatures living in worlds without urgency, where survival did not yet require fear of humans. And when humans finally arrived, curious and adaptable, change followed not out of cruelty, but out of imbalance, and these birds, unable to understand sudden danger, faded quietly into absence, leaving only bones, stories, and a soft ache of wonder. And even humans themselves were once more diverse, sharing the planet with other hominins, Neanderthals living through long winters with deep intelligence and care, Denisovans leaving only faint genetic echoes behind, Homo floresiensis, small-bodied island dwellers moving through forests like quiet shadows, each of these human relatives thinking, feeling, loving, and resting beneath stars much like we do now, their extinction not a failure, but part of a long story of blending, adaptation, and survival. And as ice ages advanced and retreated like slow breaths of the planet, ecosystems shifted gently but persistently, forests becoming grasslands, coastlines moving inward and outward, animals following food and temperature rather than borders, giant kangaroos hopping across ancient Australia, marsupial lions resting in shade, glyptodons armored like walking hills grazing calmly in South America. And everywhere insects, plants, fungi, and microbes quietly held the world together, mostly unnoticed, rarely fossilized, yet always essential. And when mass extinctions arrived, as they always have, they were not moments of instant silence, but long periods of loss and renewal, centuries and millennia, where some species struggled while others slowly took their place, reminding us that life does not disappear all at once. It transforms, it waits, it adapts. And the fossils we find today are not symbols of death, but messages of continuity, stone memories telling us that the world has ended many times before and begun again just as softly. And as you lie here now, safe and warm, it can be comforting to know that even the greatest changes unfold slowly, that the earth has always healed itself through time and patience, and that curiosity, when gentle, can be restful rather than stimulating. And if these quiet stories of extinct animals, ancient seas, lost humans, and vanished worlds help your mind slow and your thoughts drift, you are always welcome to return, to subscribe to this channel and make it a familiar place for rest, learning, and calm nights, where science is told softly, wonder replaces worry, and time stretches wide enough for sleep to arrive naturally. And now, as the last echoes of ancient oceans fade into stillness, allow your awareness to grow lighter, thoughts dissolving like ripples smoothing out across water, knowing that the past rests peacefully beneath us, and that you too can rest, deeply, gently, and without effort. As the long story of life continues quietly on, remain exactly as you are now, comfortable and unhurried, As we drift into a quieter layer of the story, a place where extinct animals no longer move through forests or oceans, but rest within stone, amber, ice, and memory, where their presence is not loud or dramatic, but soft and enduring like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. Because extinction does not erase a creature completely, it changes the way that creature exists, transforming living bodies into fossils, impressions, chemical traces, and echoes that sleep beneath mountains, deserts, and seabeds waiting patiently to be discovered. And some of the most calming stories of extinct animals come not from how they lived, but from how gently they were preserved. Mammoths frozen in permafrost with fur still intact, eyelashes resting against closed lids as if they simply lay down to sleep and never woke. Ancient bison and horses preserved in ice caves, their muscles relaxed, their final moments untroubled. Insects suspended in golden amber, wings spread mid-flight for tens of millions of years, trapped not in fear but in stillness, perfectly held by time, and delicate leaves, feathers, and footprints pressed into soft mud that hardened slowly, never rushed, capturing a single quiet moment that lasted forever. And as paleontologists carefully uncover these remains, brushing away dust grain by grain, the work itself becomes almost meditative. Slow hands, steady breath, patience rewarded by understanding. Because fossils are not trophies, they are conversations across time, reminders that the earth remembers everything in its own calm way. And through these discoveries, we learn that many extinct animals lived lives far gentler than our imaginations suggest. Dinosaurs caring for nests, brooding eggs with warmth, herds moving together for protection and companionship, ancient whales singing in oceans that carried sound farther and clearer than today's sea's giant. Tortoises walking island paths for more than a century, repeating the same routes year after year until those paths became part of the land itself. And even mass extinctions, when viewed through deep time, feel less like catastrophes and more like long, quiet winters for life. Periods of rest and reorganization, where ecosystems simplified, slowed down, and then gradually bloomed again in new forms. And this rhythm can feel deeply soothing when we allow ourselves to see it clearly, because it tells us that change does not need to be feared, that loss does not mean emptiness, and that even after endings, the world always finds a way to continue softly, and humans too are part of this long, calm story, future fossils in the making, leaving behind traces not only of bones and tools, but of thoughts, art, curiosity, and care. And perhaps millions of years from now, someone or something will uncover our remnants and wonder quietly about us, just as we wonder now about the animals who came before. And there is peace in that symmetry, in knowing that we are not separate from extinct life, but connected to it, made of the same elements, shaped by the same slow forces, sharing the same planet that has held countless dreams before ours. And if listening to these gentle reflections helps your thoughts loosen and your body sink more deeply into rest, you are invited to make this space a familiar one, to subscribe to this channel and return whenever the night feels long, whenever curiosity and calm feel like better companions than noise and urgency. And now, as the final images fade, as stone grows quiet and memory grows soft, allow sleep to take you without effort, knowing that the ancient world rests peacefully beneath you, and that tonight you can rest too, carried gently by time itself.